What's going on, everyone? NoZoupForYou here, and today we are going to be taking a look at Neustrashimy again. This will be a second look because I've done one already. As it sometimes happens with work-in-progress ships, changes are made and we often see a ship evolve. Sometimes the ships are tweaked so they're stronger than before, sometimes weaker. It does alter our opinions on this ship in question though. Enough changes were made with Neustrashimy that I feel I needed to provide a second look at it, in fairness to the ship itself. There have been two changes since my last preview, mostly revolving around the ship's heel. The first change, circa February 11th, was that the repair party consumable was changed to mimic high-tier British cruisers. Very nice. Restored damage was increased from 50 to 60%, even nicer, and the heal time was decreased from 28 to 20 seconds, and lastly, the heal was changed to 2% of maximum hit points per second instead of 0.5%. That's a pretty significant buff right there. There was one final change on February 26, and that was a slight nerf. The healing was reduced from 2% to 1.5% of maximum hit points per second. This nerf was indeed warranted as the heal was a tad strong. It still is, but it's intended to be so, and it makes up for the ship's shortcomings, mainly its guns, which there are only 4 of. And I want to caveat really quickly because I use the term shortcomings for its guns very, very loosely. They are 130 millimeters. The guns do pack a punch, and they will do some significant damage. They're only a shortcoming because of the amount of guns that you have, 4. But any more than that, and this ship would be pretty overpowering as a gunboat, so I think it's fairly balanced how it is. To further get you salivating about the Neustrashimy, you have just over 49,000 possible hit points after you add Survivability Expert, Superintendent, India Delta Signal, and using all 3 of your repair party charges. That is phenomenal. That is a cruiser amount of hit points right there. With these changes to the heal, Neustrashimy is in a good place. A very good place, in fact. It wasn't bad before. I mean, 5.6 concealment, 10 kilometers, 65 knot torps with a maximum damage of 17,933, and 4 130mm guns with a base range of 12.7 kilometers. The problem was with the guns though, which at tier 9 just weren't good enough to survive against some of the tier 10 heavy hitters. Also, while Russian, your speed is not quite Russian DD speed at 36 knots, and your turning is not as tight as other destroyers. The new heal changes everything though. Many players are calling this a zombie ship, much as Atago once was, and it's warranted. With the heal, this ship can now stand toe-to-toe with most ships comfortably. You can even challenge cruisers, if you so desire, on account of your heal. The heal is very important right now, especially given the current situation with midway dive bombers. And I want to highlight this real quick before closing out. I had a round with 2 enemy midways, and these players knew what they were doing. That alone makes a DD's life a living hell. 1 midway I could handle, but 2 is 1 too much. Anyhow, I was focused the entire round and couldn't really do anything at all, aside from shooting down planes, which, side note, Neustrashimy has pretty good AA, and to hang out in the epicenter trying not to get bombed. It's the heal that kept me in the round far past the point that I would have been sunk in another destroyer. Enemy planes would drop. If I avoided the drop, good. If not, I'd just heal the 6,000 to 8,000 damage right back and truck along. It's not pleasant, and this is a discussion for another time altogether, but this kept me in the round, and if it had been only 1 midway, I likely could have actually accomplished something useful. The point of this story though is that the heal on Neustrashimy is solid, it's viable, and it'll keep you as a destroyer in the round to the late stages when destroyer survival makes an impact the most. With these changes, I think the Neustrashimy is a very good destroyer to acquire. She is lethal and she has longevity. And there I go calling Russian ships she. Old habits, right? Russian ships are he. But I digress. This ship is now worth it. It's enjoyable and just plain good now. You can get this ship without any reservations. And I thought I owed it to this ship to let you know that. Anyhow, thanks for watching. Feel free to throw a sub if you're a longtime follower and haven't done so yet. If not, it's cool. I'll catch you all later. Zoop out.